Hello, everyone out there in Rumble, X, and YouTube land. Welcome back to Diego Knows. I, of course, am Diego, and today we're going to talk some more about And Just Like Crap, which is the name of the show. Now, I know that Drag Dungeon, that YouTube channel, I know they use that as their title. I use the title And Just Like That, okay, but I call it And Just Like Crap because that's what it is. It's crap. Okay, and I am a fan of Drag Dungeon. I do watch and I do listen to their podcast. Okay, these two gay guys talking about these episodes. But you don't have to be gay to enjoy the episodes, okay? As most of you women know, all right? I'm probably the only straight guy that's watched every episode, okay, of this abortion, all right? Sex and the City was a good show. I enjoyed it. It was fun. It wasn't realistic, okay, but it was fun. It had something to say. It was nuanced for its time. Okay, so I get it. I didn't agree with their lifestyles. I definitely did not agree with these supposed men that were on the show because there was no real men. Guys, if you're watching this, you straight guys that are watching this, okay, I just try to watch like 3 or 4 episodes of the old Sex and the City. Okay, just pick them at random. It does not matter. Pick them any of them at random. Okay, and then ask yourself, how did the men act in those episodes? Okay, was it believable to you? Okay. And 9 out of 10 times, you're gonna be like, "What the hell is this? This is not real. I would never do that. I would never act that way. I would never say that. I would never." You see what I mean? Okay, because the show never understood what straight men were. Okay, despite the fact that the show was about heterosexual relationships. Okay, that's what Sex and the City was. It was women in their 30s and 40s trying to get laid. Okay, under the auspices of trying to fall in love and get a relationship, no matter how many guys they had to fuck to get there. Okay, that was basically what the show was about. They were all looking for relationships, except for maybe Samantha. Okay, but although she did have some relationships on the show. Okay, they were all looking for relationships. Okay, no matter how many guys they had to fuck to get there. Okay, what the show never understood, because I'm sure Candace Bushel understands this, but what the show never bothered to communicate to the women. All they communicated was the good part of having all this sex. Yeah, it's great to date all these different guys, to go out and, they pay for everything. Some of them are good in bed, some of them aren't. Some of them look really good, some of them not so much. Some of them have a really cool job that excites you, some of them don't. Whatever the hell it is, there's all these different things about the guys, all right? So for a woman who wants to fantasize about sleeping with all these different guys, okay, and by that I mean being in relationships, even if they're just, one night stands, whatever, with all these different guys, okay, then it satisfies that curiosity. It satisfies that need that women have, that fantasy, that romance novel need, where women just, they just want to, imagine and fantasize what it's like to fuck a guy who's better looking and better in bed than their husband, okay? And in that fantasy, they're the most beautiful woman in the world and all that kind of bullshit that guys know better than to pretend, okay? We don't buy books on that stuff. We just watch porn, jerk off, and that's it. All right, but women, they want this entire fucking pseudo romance thing so they can justify their sluttery. Okay, they can't just have sex; they got to make it look like it just happened, or the guy was so charming, or whatever the fuck it is that women say to justify their behavior. With the exception of Samantha. Samantha basically just went out there to get laid. Okay, she saw a guy, she liked the guy, she fucked the guy. And that's all it was to her. It was nothing else. Okay, which is fine if you want to go that way. Okay, she's definitely not the first woman that's ever done that. Okay, and she's not some sort of fucking Marco Polo of sex or nothing like that, although she acts like she is. She's also not very good looking, although she acts like she is the best looking woman in the world. Okay, and that's what I found funny about Samantha. One of the reasons I like Samantha is because she was walking self-confidence. Okay, this woman just fucking, she controlled her fear. Okay, she just was not afraid to say whatever the fuck she wanted to say, or fuck whoever the hell she wanted to, and that's fun. It's fun, okay, because we know, and at least I know, that she's not all that, and she never was. Now some of you women think she's all that, but she's not. She's just fucking a shit talker. That's all she was, a shit talker. Always giving advice to her girlfriends about their relationships, despite the fact that she doesn't fucking have a relationship. She doesn't know how to do a relationship, but she's fucking telling all her girlfriends how to have a relationship. Okay, every time they go out to fucking eat, because they go out to eat for breakfast, lunch, and dinner every fucking episode. Okay, she's telling them how to live their lives, despite the fact that her life, she has nothing. She has no family, she has no kids, she has no husband, and she's got her career, and that is it, and her girlfriends, and that is it. Okay, and I'm sorry, ladies, but I think you understand this on some level. Okay, it is one thing to have your girlfriends that you love a lot. Maybe you've known them since you were children or whatever, and that's important and all that, and I get that. Okay, camaraderie is very important. Okay, but you cannot live off the camaraderie of your girlfriends. okay? Because eventually your girlfriends want to have a guy of their own, okay? They want to have a family of their own, okay? They want to have their own thing. They want their own lives. You see what I mean? Eventually fucking women go there, but these women never really went there. I mean, they supposedly went there, but let's face it, okay? Miranda and Charlotte they care a hell of a lot more about Carrie, and they used to care a hell of a lot more about Samantha, okay, than they ever did about their husbands. Okay, and let's be honest here. It's the fucking truth. Okay, it was never about fucking women, being submissive to their husbands. It was never about women being partners with their husbands. Okay, the men were superfluous. They were just there. They were there to fucking pay the bills, or they were there just to provide them with sex or whenever they fucking needed it, and that was it. Okay, that's all the men were there for. That's all Harry was there for. Harry was just there to fuck Charlotte, okay, and to pay for the fucking apartment, and to pay for the kids, and pay for the adoption, and pay for fucking everything. Okay, that's the only reason Harry was there. Okay, Steve was just there to fuck Miranda, okay, and to give her something to do while Carrie was out with Big, okay, and while Samantha was out fucking some guy. That's it. And if you remember correctly, okay, if you also remember correctly on Sex and the City, okay, none of the women were really friends with Samantha. The only one that was friends with Samantha was Carrie. Okay, remember that? You never see Samantha and Miranda hanging out. You never see fucking Charlotte and Samantha talking to each other about their relationship issues. No, you never saw that. It was always Charlotte talking to Carrie, or Miranda talking to Carrie, or Samantha talking to Carrie. Okay, it was never Charlotte hanging out with Samantha. You remember that on the show? I watch every fucking episode. I understand. I know my Sex and the City. Okay, you notice that? Okay, that's because you can't relate. Samantha can't relate to these women. She's not really friends with them. She's friends with Carrie. She's friends with Carrie. Okay, and each one of these three girls, Charlotte, Samantha, and Miranda, each one of them thinks that they're Carrie's best friend. It's ridiculous, but that's what Sex and the City was. I get the concept, very nuanced for its time, okay, but you can't live your life that way, okay, and that's what the show never talked about, okay? Eventually, you're gonna have to want a life of your own, apart from your girlfriends, and even if you don't, even if your girlfriends are everything to you, it doesn't mean that they don't want their own lives. They're gonna want to draw away from you as well, okay? You can't live off of your girlfriend's fucking stories forever, okay? Eventually, you want to write your own story, okay? You want to have your own partner. Okay, and I think that's something that's universal from men and women. Okay, eventually we want to find each other. I love hanging out with my guy friends. Fuck, I was in the Marines for a long time, for many years, okay? Trust me, I know what it's like to hang out with guys, all right? And it's fun on some level, okay? It's fun in a way that it's not with women, okay? But at the same time, that's not gonna fulfill me. Hanging out with my guy friends by myself is not gonna fulfill me. We can talk about pussy all we want. We can compare about who fucked the hotter girl. Okay, we can talk about sports. We can talk about martial arts, comic books, whatever the fuck, okay? Whatever fucking guy things that we talk about, all right? But at the end of the day, we still want to be with a woman, okay? Because we relate to women in a different way than we relate to our bros. You see what I mean? And I think women, in fact, I know women are that way as well. They want to relate to a man in a way that's different than how they relate to their girlfriends. Okay, and that's something that Sex and the City, and much less this show, doesn't really deal with and never really dealt with. Because it's written by fucking lesbians, okay, or transgendered women, or fucking gay guys. That's the showrunners. That's the people that make this show, okay? They're just look up the pictures of some of these people. I forgot the name of the woman that writes all the episodes, but look her up. I mean, look at my old videos. I already show pictures of her, and she's fucking disgusting. She's just fucking disgusting. Okay, you want to know why the first season there were all these the episodes about pissing yourself, okay, and about farting, okay, and about having your period in public, okay, in front of everybody, in front of your kids. Remember that? Okay, well, yeah, that's because of her. Okay, she wrote all that stuff because she writes from personal experience. Okay, it's just fucking disgusting as shit. All right. Anyway, and throwing up and stuff while you're on a date. Okay, all that stuff in the first season, it was because this one woman, I don't remember her name, I don't want to look up her name. Okay, but that's just disgusting. Okay, and that's not really the type of stuff that I think, if a guy doesn't want to see that, I'm pretty sure women don't want to see that either. Okay, what the show should have done, I understand Kim Cattrall's not coming back to the show. I get it. I mean, she did make one cameo, which was cool. Okay, because I know she fucking hates Sarah Jessica Parker. I get all that. Okay, but what they should have done with this show, they should have focused on who these characters were and kept them there. Okay, Miranda didn't have to fucking become gay and then fuck over her husband. Okay, she was lucky to get him. She was lucky to have Steve. She didn't have to fuck her over. It just makes you want to hate Miranda more. We already knew she was a bitch, but god damn it, at least we liked her husband, and now we don't even have that. And the reason that happened was because fucking Cynthia Nixon went gay in real life. She fucking blew up her family to be with some fucking butt ugly fucking lesbo that looks like fucking Titan from the goddamn Megamind movie. I'm not making that up. Look up that thing that she's married to. Okay? I'm not making that up. You know, Charlotte went from being the sweetheart she was the one girl that was so fucking, yes, she was a fucking airhead. Okay? And yes, she was a gold digger. All right? I get all that. All right? But God damn it, at least she was sweet. She was sweet. And she was very feminine. Okay? Yes, she was the dumbass of the group, always saying stuff that didn't matter. Okay? I get it. Okay? But she was feminine. Okay? She was very, very feminine. And that to her voice, the way she moved her body, you know, the way she kept up her appearance, okay? She was, you know, most of us, myself included, we found Charlotte attractive back then. Not now. Now she's just a fucking Mary Poppins wannabe, okay? And now she's a total fucking bitch. I mean, she did a total fucking 180 here. What the fuck happened? She was the sweetheart of the group, and now she's just fucking insufferable fucking cunt who cares more about her fucking dog than she does about her fucking children. Than she cares about her fucking daughter being some sort of transgender fucking thing, okay? Or that her fucking her Asian adopted daughter is a fucking whore, or that her fucking husband is a fucking piece of shit. Treats him like a piece of shit despite the fact that he puts up with all of her shit, all of her kids' shit, and gives her whatever the fuck she wants. All right? And she still treats him like shit. So no, and she treats fucking clerks in stores like shit. She treats waitresses like shit. She treats everybody like shit. Okay, why the fuck would I want to be, what was there about fucking Charlotte? And I'm just supposed to fucking pretend that she didn't Botox the shit out of her fucking face? Am I just supposed to ignore that her face looks like a goddamn fucking marshmallow? No, I mean, I'm not going to do that. You know? I mean, what the fuck? Don't even start on I'm not even going to talk about Sarah Jessica Parker or Miranda's character. Not right now. I'm getting too worked out. I got to talk about this episode, all right? So, okay, real quickly here. Boom. There you go. All right? This one right here, okay? That one is my ex, okay? And this one right here, okay, that one, that's my Rumble, okay? So that's my ex, and that's my Rumble, all right? Just want to get that out of the way. Because you know how YouTube is, you know, they were censoring a lot the past couple of years, and now they're being watched by the government, okay? They can't do that anymore, but they're still going to try to do it. I know nobody's after me, okay? I'm small fry. I do this for fun. I'm not monetized. I'm not trying to get you to fucking buy my merch or none of that stuff, okay? I'm just telling you the truth because you need to hear it, okay? If you want to know what real men, okay, not gay guys, okay? Not soy boy Olympics, okay? If you want to know what a real man, a real straight fucking man who has dated many women, okay? If you want to know what we think about Sex and the City and about fucking and Just Like Crap, okay, then I'm your guy. Because I'm going to tell you. I'm going to tell you straight up, babe, okay? Straight up with no lube. There's no lube here. The real question you need to ask yourself is, can you handle it? Can you handle the truth? Because I know for damn well you cannot. But you're going to get it, baby. All right. Now, when we left off last time, when I was talking about this abortion of a show, okay, we had that whole incident with Charlotte, you know, who dressed like Mary Poppins, you know, walking around like the fucking idiot that she is, okay, in $10,000 clothes in New York, in Manhattan. I mean, she's just asking to get fucking robbed. But she goes into this doggy daycare for her dog, okay, Richard Burton. Yes, she named her dog after fucking two of Liz Taylor's husbands. I said two because she married Richard Burton twice, okay, and her little pit bull. And they're not going to take her to the doggy daycare because they're gay. Well, they are. Okay, no, seriously, the guy that works there is fucking clearly queer. Okay, but because there's the other dog that the owner of the dog, the Chihuahua named Peanut, her owner accused Charlotte of her dog attacking Peanut, her Chihuahua, and so now she wants Charlotte to pay for her Chihuahua Peanut's MRI bill. Charlotte doesn't want to pay it because there's no proof that her dog did it. She doesn't believe that her dog did it, and there's no witnesses either. Okay, so she goes to this doggy daycare, okay, and of course they refuse her because the other dog is already at that daycare. They're going to keep the dogs separate. All right. So of course this is like the fucking end of the world for Charlotte. She gives more of a shit about this dog than she does about her husband. Okay, in fact, she kisses her dog and says, "I'm going to miss you and think about you all day," but she doesn't say that to her husband or her kids. Okay, and that should tell you everything you need to know about Charlotte now. Okay, not only is she uglier than she was before, not only is she fatter than she was before, she's more of a fucking cunt than she was before. And if that isn't bad enough, she has a twin on this show. She has a clone who is black. There's a black Charlotte on this show, and her name is Lisa Todd Wexley. Okay, and she's married to Herbert Wexley. Okay, exact same thing. Okay, cunt and a half, insufferable, entitled, narcissistic piece of shit, boss bitch. Okay, who fucking dominates her husband. Okay, emasculates him, insults him in front of the kids. The whole works. The exact same thing. Lives in a fucking multi-million-dollar apartment, just like Charlotte and Harry do. Okay, it's ridiculous. Okay, we got two of the same fucking families here. All right, like what the fuck is going on? Anyway. Oh, I know what's going on. Anyway, so the next scene here is Lily. Okay, Lily's at the ballet watching this guy that she has a crush on. Okay, this gay guy, okay, with a camel toe because he's wearing the tights. And you can clearly see his camel toe right there. This guy is hung like an elevator button according to the tights that he's wearing. And of course, that turns Lily on because she's Asian. Anyway, so she's over there fingering herself, okay, in the auditorium, which is fucking almost empty because it's like a friends and family day or some shit like that. So she instead of her mother showing up for this thing, she invited her sister, Rock, okay, who's another fucking transgender piece of shit, okay, and she also invited Carrie. Of course, Carrie's gonna be there, okay, and she invited fucking Anthony and his fucking big dick boyfriend Giuseppe, who speaks very little English. They're invited, but her mom didn't show up and her dad didn't show up, okay, and she's all excited because of the boy that's there. I told you, the camel toe boy that's dancing, okay, like the fucking queer that he is, all right, and that turns her on. That's getting her pussy all wet and stuff. She's playing with herself, okay, right there in the auditorium, all right. Okay, and of course, when he's done with his gay dance, he smiles at Lily, and she's like, and she just boom, just like fucking Niagara Falls down there, boom. Okay, remember that scene in The Matrix? Okay, where the Merovingian gave that cheesecake to the girl, and she immediately had an orgasm after eating it. Okay, remember that explosion that we saw through Neo's Matrix? Okay, that's what happens here. Only it's 10 times bigger. Okay, just by watching this guy with no crotch at all, no bulge at all, dance, like that. Like what the hell? Remember Baryshnikov? Was it? Well, he was a dancer. He's a dancer too. Mikhail Baryshnikov. Remember he was on Sex and the City as well. He played I don't even remember. It was a long time. It's been years since I reviewed those episodes. But yeah, it just reminded me of that. Of course, you got to have the ballet there because everyone involved in the show is gay. Okay, so that's going on here. Okay, Anthony continues to ask Carrie about Aiden. Okay, Carrie and Aiden are on a break right now because in the last season, Aiden's son, who's 14 years old, got drunk. He was supposed to be being watched by his mom, but somehow he snuck away, got into a car, got shit-faced, and crashed and almost died. So Aiden had to go back to New Jersey, take care of his son, and then he realized that if he moves to New York to be with Carrie, he's not going to be able to babysit his fucking son. Why can't the mom fucking watch him? Okay, and then he can visit his son on the weekends or some shit, or they can take turns parenting. Why didn't that happen? It didn't happen because apparently the mom, her job forces her to travel, to get carpet and shit for her upholstery business. I don't know what the fuck it is, her textile business or whatever. Okay, and she likes to go around the world to do her job with her big dick boyfriend. So therefore, his son Wyatt got into that accident while the mom was supposed to be watching him. So he doesn't trust his ex-wife to watch their own children. He doesn't even trust his adult sons. One of them, I think, is 20, and the other one is like 18. He doesn't trust them to watch their little brother either. So he's got to be the one to watch him. Okay, so he doesn't necessarily want to break up with Carrie. Okay, but he wants to go on a break, and for some dumbass reason that's never explained, they agree not to call each other either. Okay, so he's going to be in New Jersey thinking about her for 5 years, and she's stuck in this gigantic house in Manhattan that she just bought with her dead husband who she murdered. That's right, Big's money, and she's got no furniture, no nothing in there, no paintings on the wall, no pictures, no dining room set, no nothing. It's an empty fucking building, empty fucking house. Okay, she doesn't even have fucking cabinets or nothing for her clothes. Okay, she has like a hanger, like a rack here where she just hangs her clothes on, and she has a fucking cat too. Get the irony, to play with, and that's it. Okay, she's also got a security alarm service that doesn't work, that keeps malfunctioning. It keeps telling her that her kitchen door is open when it's not. okay? And so whenever it goes off, she has to run from the bedroom to get downstairs to turn off the alarm to hit the code, because nobody thought of fucking just having a code pad right there in the fucking bedroom, okay? So she has to run. It takes her 20 minutes to get from her bedroom down to the fucking kitchen to turn off the code and talk to the security company on the phone, tell them not to call the cops, that kind of shit. Anyway, so that's going on here, okay? And Anthony wants to know where Aiden is and what's going on, okay? And of course, Carrie does not want to talk about it. She's kind of embarrassed. Miranda and Charlotte know, okay? But Anthony does not know. He's not in the loop. He's not one of the girls, all right? Despite the fact that he's gay, all right? So he continues to ask about Aiden, and she's like, what are you, friggin' Rapunzel? Why isn't he with you? Why aren't you with him? That kind of stuff, okay? And then Carrie's finally like, you know what I really like about ballet? No talking. And right when she says that, okay, even Giuseppe, okay, Rose comes in there. Apparently there's a line at the ballet. Anyway, they go to get a burger. And then Anthony looks at his boyfriend, okay, Mr. Big Dick Giuseppe. And she asks him, am I coming? Did she seem mad? Was she mad, on the surface? Now I love Anthony. He's funny as hell. I'm glad he's on the show. All right. But it's just straight up gay jokes. All right. And so his boyfriend says, like, oh, it wasn't really on the surface. It was pretty direct, and Giuseppe tells him, that it's pretty obvious that Carrie doesn't like Anthony questioning her about Aiden. And he says, you need to maybe stop being you all the time. All right. So there, character arc for Anthony. All right. Next thing, at home, Carrie, okay. She plays with this 8-ball, those old novelty 8-balls. You shake it up and you look at there and it reads your fortune. It tells you your fortune. Okay, those have been around since like the 70s. I remember those when I was a little kid. All right. Well, she shakes one up and looks at it and it says "Outlook Good." Outlook Good, which is the name of the episode. That's where the name of the title of the episode came from. Okay, Outlook Good. All right. Next thing you know, Aiden calls her and he's drunk as fuck, drinking beer in his truck outside of his house from New Jersey. He's calling Carrie at night. Okay, he's in his truck. Now, the reason he's drinking in his truck is because he doesn't allow alcohol in the house because of what his 14-year-old son did. All right, got drunk and crashed the car. Okay, because and she says, why are you drinking in your truck? And he says he just says why at? Get it? Why at? Wyatt. That's his son's name. That's his fucking dumbass son who got drunk because his dad wasn't there, okay, and crashed the car and almost died. Okay, Wyatt. All right, so I guess Wyatt needs dad's supervision 24/7. Like I said, his brothers can't watch him. The mom obviously can't fucking watch her own fucking kids. Okay, so what the fuck? Anyway, so he tells, while he's drunk on the phone, he tells Carrie, I ache for you. Yeah, I say that all the time to my girlfriend. When I haven't seen her, I tell her, hey, babe, you know what? I ache for you. No, he doesn't ache for shit. You know what he aches for? He aches for a fucking dick in his ass, okay? Because he's talking like a goddamn queer. That's what he's talking like. I'm serious, man. Straight guys, we don't talk this way. We don't talk this way at all. This is what a gay guy thinks we talk like. I ache for you. What the fuck do you think we're doing? Writing a romance novel and reading it to her or some shit? We don't do this shit. Especially not in 2025. What the fuck? Anyway, I ache for you. No. Anyway, he starts doing the phone sex thing with her, but mostly he's just doing it for himself. He quickly pulls out his dick. No, we don't get to see it. But this is the second time we've seen the whole masturbation thing. If you remember in the first episode of season 1 of And Just Like Crap, okay, Big was fucking jerking himself off while Carrie was watching him. Okay, so now Aiden is jerking himself off while Carrie's listening to him. Okay, all right, he can't jerk off in the house, right? Anyway, he jerks off. He comes real quick, within 30 seconds. Okay, he honks his horn by accident. He's moving his knee and he accidentally sets off the horn, but nobody wakes up, so it doesn't fucking matter. Okay, and of course, Carrie, fakes her orgasm, and he actually believes that she had an orgasm, despite the fact that he jerked off in 25 seconds and came. Okay, he believes when Carrie says, "Oh yeah, I'm coming too. Yeah, oh yeah, I'm right with you." Okay, he believed that she actually had an orgasm. All right. And of course, all men obviously are inept at pleasing women, according to all gay guys. Okay, all straight men do not know how to make a woman come. Okay, we're all inept at that. We've never done it before. Every single straight guy out there, okay, is useless when it comes to having sex. Okay, they don't know how to get a woman off. No one has ever learned how to get a woman off. Okay, using their cock or their fingers or their tongue or anything else. Okay, or even that part of your finger right there. Okay, no guy's ever done that before. Okay. That's obvious. Men all suck in bed, okay? Yeah. That's what they're saying here. And Aiden's a perfect example of that. He couldn't even get her off on phone sex, much less in real sex. That's why she cheated on him all those fucking times. All right. So that's going on here. Meanwhile, Rosie O'Donnell is blowing up Miranda's phone. Why the fuck? I don't know why they put that scene in there. I really don't give a shit. Butt ugly Rosie O'Donnell is in this episode. She plays a nun, a butt ugly nun named Mary, who lost her virginity yesterday to fucking Cynthia Nixon, dude. And now you know why I suffer from ED. If there was a better commercial for ED right now, this is it right here. Look at my face. I suffer from ED because I watched this fucking episode. Okay, so I hope you're happy. Moving right along. Ravi arrives 2 hours early at fucking in what the hell's her name? In Seema's apartment. Now, what's that going on with that? Okay, Seema is the Indian fucking bitch who thinks she's a 10 when she's really a 3. Okay, she's a chain smoking, like 56, 57, 58-year-old woman. She's a boss bitch. She owns her own fucking real estate business. Okay, she lives in a gorgeous apartment, despite the fact that she set it on fire earlier in this episode. Okay, she hates men, despite the fact that she can't live without them. All she does is bitch about men, despite the fact that she's so lonely because she doesn't have one. How the fuck are you gonna have one if you fucking hate them all the time? All right. Anyway, she dates these guys that are way the fuck out of her league. Why does she date these high value men? Because this show's written by a gay guy. That's why. Okay. When realistically, okay, Seema would be lucky, okay, to have a fucking bathroom attendant fucking go out with her. Okay. I'm talking fucking Bob Bigelow from Deuce Bigelow, Male Gigolo. Okay. She'll be lucky for a guy like Bob Bigelow to ask her out on a date to fucking McDonald's to get her a fucking number 3 extra value meal. Okay. I'm not fucking making that up. Okay. Seema's about as good looking as my asshole. The problem is that she thinks she's fucking a young Bo Derek, but she's not. She's nowhere near that. Okay. She's more like fucking Melissa McCarthy if she was Indian. Okay. Anyway, but she thinks she's fucking high class and she's a fucking 10. All right. So the show just expects you to go with it. All right, same thing with Samantha. They did that. Although I would take Samantha over fucking Seema in a heartbeat. All right, I used to feel sorry for her because she was pretending on the show. She was pretending to have a boyfriend or a family when she really didn't, and she kind of halfway believed that she had one even though she really didn't. Okay, I used to like her back then because she showed humility and she showed a vulnerability which she has not shown in 2 seasons. So fuck that cunt. All right. The only reason she's there is for DEI. Okay. We don't need an Indian woman on the show. The only reason she's there is for diversity, equity, inclusion. In other words, didn't earn it. Okay. She's there to fucking hit a check mark. Okay. Just like the black girl was there. I didn't remember her name. The black college professor was there last season. That's why she was there, to hit a fucking check box. But they already got a black girl there. You can't have 2. You don't need 2. Okay. So we had to get rid of one of them. Okay. Same reason they had Shay on there. Okay. They had to have a transgender thing that looks like fucking Fred Flintstone with lipstick. Why? Because they had to have representation. Okay, they got rid of her ass. Okay, yes, I said her. Okay, because she served no purpose on the show. She was only there to blow up fucking Miranda's marriage, and she succeeded in that. And that's it. That's her total purpose. Okay, the people didn't like her. The core audience base did not like fucking Shay. Shay does not represent what women want, much less what they want to look like. Okay, did you see that fucking Popeye thing that she fell in love with and walked off into the sunset with? I mean, what the fuck? Okay, and this show's supposed to represent women? Are you out of your fucking mind? I'm a guy, and even I don't believe that shit. All right. Man, we're talking about Seema, though, right? Okay, so Seema's boyfriend, his name is Ravi, okay? He is a world-famous movie director, okay? He directs movies for Marvel. Yeah, right. Okay? I don't know what nationality he is. I think he's Indian or something. I'm not really sure. He has a British accent, so I'm guessing he's Indian. Okay? But he has this scarf. He has a neck scarf, okay, that is surgically attached to his neck at all times. So even when he's fucking Seema, he's got that scarf on, all right? Anyway, he shows up. He was filming on location in some other country. She demanded that he fly back to New York immediately and see her, or else she was going to break up with him. Because that's the kind of woman that she is. Now, why the fuck would she, how are you supposed to expect me to believe that a guy like that, a guy who directs movies for fucking Disney, okay, for fucking big budget superhero movies, okay, from Marvel, which is owned by Disney, and a guy like that would go out with a butt ugly chain smoking piece of shit like fucking Seema, okay? Why would he do that? It would never happen in real life, but this show just wants you to go with it, all right? So, of course, they're in love. They got together, and now this is the first episode of season 3, and of course they're going to break up, okay? You know how I fucking knew that already? Because if you remember in season 2, what happened at the end of season 1? Seema hooked up with a guy who was the owner of the hottest fucking nightclub in Brooklyn, remember? Okay, a guy who would be up to his ass in underage girls begging to let them into his club. Okay, but no, he falls in love with Seema too. And what happens to him? She breaks up with his ass in the very first episode of season 2. So guess what happens? Okay, Seema fell in love with this movie director Robbie. Okay, at the end of season 2. So guess what? Now it's the beginning of season 3. What happens? Of course she's gonna break up with him. Okay, as if she has the fucking options. As there's some fucking better looking guy standing right behind him that wants to go out with her. There's not. Okay? She's fucking unattractive. She's a fucking chain smoker. Okay? And she thinks she's all fucking that. Okay? And she's too fucking old. She's 58 years old. What the fuck kind of guy you think you're gonna get? You think you're gonna get a fucking JFK Jr. at your age with your fucking looks? You can't even be trusted to be in your own fucking apartment without setting the whole fucking place on fire. Okay? So fuck you. Anyway. But Robbie likes her. He loves her, right? Of course he does. So he shows up, all right. He arrived from New York. He accepted her ultimatum. He didn't want her to break up with her. So he shows up 2 hours early. The movers are still there installing the new bed that she set on fire. And of course, she's going to find a way to blame him. She blames him for herself setting her own bed on fire because she was waiting up for him to FaceTime him. And he couldn't make it for whatever reason. He sent his assistant. So she's embarrassed because she was wearing this sexy lingerie, which is not really sexy. Okay. And so because she was pissed off, she just laid down after she got up from fucking snoring because she's a fucking pig, and she fucking lit a cigarette, started smoking it. She fell asleep. The cigarette fell. It set the bed on fire. Could have burned down the whole building. But luckily the firemen went in there and risked their lives and put out that fucking fire, and the building did not go up and nobody fucking died. The only casualty, which is the casualty, is that Seema got a little bit of her hair burned, so she had to cut like 3 inches off, and that's it. But to her, that's a tragedy. And of course, you know, it's a disaster, and she's going to blame Robbie for it. Why? Because women don't fucking accept the consequence. They don't accept any fucking consequences for any of their actions, okay, on this show, okay? Not at all. Not one fucking woman on this show, okay, accepts, okay, any sort of responsibility for anything that they fucking do. There's absolutely no accountability when it comes to the women. Yet all the men on the show are expected, okay, to answer for every fucking mistake that they make, and they have to pay for it. And they have to apologize for it, but the women don't have to do any of that shit. Why? Because they're boss bitches. Anyway, so that's going on here. Okay, he shows up with a bunch of flowers, dressed real nice and shit. Okay, you know, and the movers are there, and you know, and one of the movers looks at them and says, like, you know, this is like some bullshit, piece of shit gay TV show or some shit. He actually says that. Look at the scene again. He actually says that. I'm going to say it verbatim, all right? He says, this is like some bullshit, piece of shit, gay TV show or some shit. When he sees Robbie show up with the flowers and his fucking neck scarf. All right? Okay. And of course, he forgets that he said that she had to cut her hair. Okay, so he's there, you know, and she's like, oh, you're early. You know, the movers are here. And he's like, I only see you. And what happened to your hair? How come it's shorter? And she's just like that. Like it's his fucking fault. Okay? That she cut her hair. Okay, she cut her hair because she set the fucking bed on fire because she burned her hair trying to get a hold of him on FaceTime. So, of course, that's his fault and not hers. All right. So, anyway, Robbie wakes her up early the next day. Okay, and apparently he made reservations at some super nice restaurant. Okay, for them to have lunch. Okay, but he has to do some quick location scouting. Okay, before lunch. All right. So of course, you know, he looks at her outfit when she comes outside in some expensive dress or something, you know, and he's like, wow, like that, okay, like he fucking had to read it or something, all right, okay. at her forgettable outfit. I don't even fucking remember what it looks like. To be honest, I just remember it was white or beige. Okay, and she has to share the crowded SUV. There's an SUV there that's going to drive them to the location, and then they're going to go to lunch. However, the SUV is already crowded full of people. It's his staff. It's his crew. Okay, they're already in the SUV. Okay, his assistants. Okay, and they're all going to go together. Okay, to go scout locations first. Okay, now she tries to fucking be like, hey, maybe Robbie, maybe you and I can get our own car. I got a driver. He's like, no, I'm the captain. The captain does not leave the ship. So she's forced to be crowded in this little fucking SUV. She's also the only one wearing perfume, which pisses off Robbie because he doesn't allow his staff to wear perfume. All right. Anyway, so it turns out that there's actually 3 locations they have to go to instead of 1 before his lunch reservation. Okay. So Robbie, so that's going on here. The next scene, Charlotte complains to Lisa. Okay. She complains to Lisa about this, about the Instagram warnings, okay, for her dog, Richard Burton. Apparently, Richard Burton, the fucking little fucking pit bull, Charlotte set up an Instagram account for him. Yes, she set up an Instagram account for her fucking dog. All right. And there's a bunch of warnings on there, a bunch of complaints about her dog on Instagram. Obviously, this is harassment because of that woman that claims that Richard Burton attacked her dog. Okay, but Charlotte says it didn't happen. There are no witnesses to prove that it happened. So this is what the woman's doing. She's harassing him on Instagram, harassing the fucking dog on Instagram, and that's a big deal. That's a tragedy in this episode for Charlotte. How dare you insult my dog like this? How dare you try to cancel him online? Like that. And she has to vent this out to Lisa, who's another piece of shit, just like fucking Charlotte is. Okay, Charlotte refuses to pay for the other dog, Peanut, the Chihuahua. She refuses to pay for Peanut's MRI bill, and that's what all this is coming from. Okay, so while this is going on, Richard Burton grabs his black doll. Yes, it's a doll of a black girl. It's named Eugenia. Apparently has something to do with fucking with Black History Month, but I don't give a shit. All right. Anyway, and so when Lisa sees the dog chewing up the doll, the Eugenia doll, she panics and runs over there and pulls the fucking doll away from the dog's mouth. Okay, and Charlotte apologized. Oh my God, my dog Richard Burton has never done anything like this before. Oh my God, I feel like the mother from that movie Bad Seed. Ew, ew, ew. Jesus Christ, did I tell you a gay guy wrote this? All right, anyway. So the next scene here, Robbie, yes, Seema's boyfriend, Robbie, he rejects the pier they go to, okay, that they're on, okay, they will miss, it turns out they're going to miss their lunch reservation after all, which pisses off Seema. Now, she doesn't directly tell him, hey, listen, I thought we were going to have lunch, not go location scouting like this. You told me you were going to hit one place, now we've hit 3. We've missed our lunch reservation, okay, what are you going to do about it? He's, oh, relax, sweetheart, relax, I let the date, I lost track of time, okay, I'll change the reservations to dinner. We'll have dinner at that fancy restaurant, okay, my sweetheart? That kind of thing, right? And then one of the assistants goes like, hey, I got sandwiches in the cooler, because they're carrying a cooler with them, right? Okay, so that's going on here. And then while they're all talking, Seema's all having a meltdown because she's too classy, okay, to put up with this kind of shit to work with working class people. She can't deal with working class people. There's these 2 hot girls that jog right by through the camera, okay, and they're wearing tights, okay, and they look really fucking good. Okay, we don't see their faces, but we see their outfits, and they got these hot bodies, nice asses, and they're just jogging. And I was shocked to see 2 fucking hot girls in this episode, even if it was only for like 2 seconds, okay? And even though I couldn't see their face, okay, I got to see their bodies for like a second, 1 or 2 seconds at it. Guys, if you're watching it, pause it. You'll know exactly what I'm talking about. 2 hotties run right by. They're jogging on the pier. Okay, so I actually did get to see a fucking hot girl in this episode. 2 hot girls in this episode, even though I couldn't fucking see their faces. But whatever their face looked like, it's got to be better than these fucking hags that are on the fucking show right now. Okay. So that's going on here, okay? But of course, the TV show's not going to focus on them. All right, I'm done for right now. Okay, I'm going to stop my review right here, but I'll be back shortly to continue my review of And Just Like Crap. I thank you very much for watching this long, and I will see you soon on the next one. Bye.